Picture this. You're sitting at a dinner party surrounded by people you know. The conversation casually shifts toward money, investments, and retirement. One person mentions they have successfully maxed out their 401k contributions for more than a decade. Another person starts talking about a rental property they purchased a few years ago and how much equity they have built. Someone else proudly mentions that their investment account just reached a milestone number that you didn't even realize people tracked. Everyone seems to have a plan, everyone seems ahead, and suddenly you find yourself quietly calculating your own situation in your head. Do you even know exactly how much is in your retirement account? Is that small amount you saved actually enough? Are you already too far behind? You smile, you nod, you congratulate everyone. You say something safe like, "That's amazing." But internally, something feels different. Your stomach tightens. Later that night, you're lying in bed staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. You replay the conversation over and over. You start asking yourself questions. Why does it seem like everyone else understood money earlier than you did? Should I have invested in my 20s? Should I have bought a house years ago? Did I miss my opportunity? Am I going to be working forever, maybe until I'm 70 or even 75? But here's what almost nobody admits during those conversations. A lot of people are not as financially secure as they appear. The person talking about their rental property might be dealing with months of vacancy, expensive repairs, and negative cash flow. The person bragging about maxing out their retirement account might also have tens of thousands of dollars in hidden credit card debt. The person celebrating their investment milestone might have received a large inheritance instead of building that wealth themselves. You are comparing your complete financial reality against someone else's carefully selected highlights. And the bigger problem is not that you are failing. The bigger problem is that you are judging yourself using financial standards created for an economy that no longer exists. How can someone feel completely behind financially while actually being ahead of most people around them? How can popular money advice create more anxiety than motivation? How can the benchmarks everyone repeats be disconnected from the actual financial lives of ordinary Americans? Why does society tell people they are failing while the data shows something very different? According to data from the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median retirement savings for Americans between the ages of 35 and 44 is around $45,000. That means half of people in that age group have less than that amount saved. Think about that. The average person is not walking around with hundreds of thousands of dollars invested. The reality is much closer to ordinary people trying to build stability while managing mortgages, rent, family expenses, debt, and rising costs. Yet many people compare themselves to traditional financial benchmarks that suggest they should already have 2 or 3 times their annual salary saved. Someone earning $70,000 might hear that they should have $210,000 invested. Then they check their account and see $40,000 or $50,000. The emotional reaction is immediate. I failed. But the benchmark itself may be the problem. Many financial rules were created using assumptions from a completely different economic era. An era when housing was dramatically cheaper. An era when one income could often support an entire household. An era when stable careers and pensions were more common. Today's economy looks completely different. Housing costs have increased, education costs have increased, healthcare costs have increased, career paths have changed, yet many people still judge themselves using outdated standards. Let's call this the broken benchmark trap. It is the psychological problem where people measure themselves against financial targets created for a different time period, and then feel ashamed when they do not match those unrealistic expectations. The result is not motivation, the result is paralysis. You hear that you should have $200,000 saved. You look at your account and see $50,000. Your brain interprets the difference as failure. That feeling creates shame. The shame creates avoidance. You stop checking your accounts. You avoid thinking about retirement. You delay making decisions because the gap feels too large. And every month you avoid the problem, the anxiety grows. This creates a cycle. You feel behind. You avoid taking action. You fall further behind. You feel even worse. But the truth is that the situation is often much more fixable than your emotions make it seem. Imagine someone named Marcus. At age 40, Marcus looked at his finances and felt embarrassed. He had around $22,000 saved for retirement. He still had a car payment. He carried $8,000 in credit card debt. He earned $85,000 per year. According to traditional benchmarks, Marcus looked like he was failing. But instead of staying stuck, he decided to rebuild his financial foundation step by step. He did not win the lottery. He did not receive a massive inheritance. He simply focused on the actions that created the biggest impact. First, he reviewed every expense. He spent an entire weekend analyzing his bank statements. He discovered hundreds of dollars disappearing every month through subscriptions, memberships, and services he barely used. He cut unnecessary expenses. He refinanced his high-interest car loan. Within 1 month, Marcus created nearly $500 of additional monthly cash flow without earning a single extra dollar. Then he focused on his credit card debt. Using the debt avalanche method, he attacked the highest interest balances first. 8 months later, the entire $8,000 balance was gone. That was a major turning point, because high-interest debt is like trying to run while someone is pulling you backward. After removing that obstacle, Marcus built an emergency fund. He increased his savings from $2,000 to $15,000. This gave him protection against unexpected expenses, a broken car, a medical bill, a job interruption. Without an emergency fund, every surprise expense could send him back into debt. After building stability, Marcus focused on retirement. He first captured his employer's 401k match. That was essentially free money. Then he increased his contributions gradually. Instead of making a massive change overnight, he increased his savings rate by 1% every few months. By age 45, Marcus was investing 18% of his income toward retirement. Then he focused on increasing his income. He invested time and money into developing a specialized skill. 6 months of learning and a few $1,000s of investment led to a major career improvement. Within 2 years, his income increased by $22,000 per year. The important part, he did not increase his lifestyle. He invested the additional income. That decision changed everything. So what should someone realistically focus on at age 40? Retirement savings. A strong goal is around 1.5 to 2 times your annual income invested for retirement. If you earn $70,000, that means somewhere around $105,000 to $140,000. But if you are below that number, it does not mean you failed. It means you need a strategy. A person with $120,000 invested at 40 can potentially grow that amount significantly over the next 25 years, even without counting additional contributions. Compound growth becomes extremely powerful with time. Emergency savings also matter. A healthy target is usually 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, not luxury spending, not vacations, not shopping, only the costs required to keep life running: housing, food, utilities, transportation, insurance. This creates financial protection. High-interest debt should also be a priority. Credit card balances can destroy wealth because the interest works against you. Investment growth compounds in your favor. Credit card interest compounds against you. The math is working in opposite directions. Income growth is another major factor. Someone earning $100,000 and saving 20% invests twice as much each year as someone earning $50,000 with the same savings rate. Over decades, that difference becomes enormous. Many people believe starting late means they have already lost. But there is a hidden advantage people ignore. Your 40s often come with higher earning potential. A 25-year-old might only be able to invest a few $100s monthly. A 40-year-old with an established career may have the ability to invest much more. Contribution power can sometimes overcome a late start. Someone investing $200 every month from age 25 may build significant wealth. But someone investing $1,500 every month from age 40 can potentially create even more because the contribution amount is dramatically higher. Time matters, but intensity matters too. Another advantage of being older is experience. Someone in their 20s may panic during market crashes. They may sell at the worst possible moment. Someone in their 40s has likely already seen economic cycles. They understand that volatility is part of investing. They have more emotional control. The 5-step financial reset. Step 1. Stop the financial leaks. Review your spending. Find unnecessary expenses. Remove the things that provide little value. Small monthly improvements create large long-term results. Step 2. Destroy high-interest debt. Attack credit card balances aggressively. This creates an immediate guaranteed improvement. Step 3. Build protection. Create an emergency fund before taking excessive investment risks. Financial security starts with stability. Step 4. Increase retirement contributions. Capture employer matches. Increase savings gradually. Make the process automatic. Step 5. Grow your income. Develop valuable skills. Specialized knowledge creates opportunities. Higher income gives you more fuel to build wealth. That dinner party conversation was never really about money. It was about perception. The people who seem ahead may have challenges you cannot see. The person with the large retirement account may have massive obligations. The person with the rental property may be losing money. The person with the investment milestone may have started with advantages you never had. You are comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's public performance. The people who build wealth are not always the ones who started earliest. They are often the ones who stayed consistent. They invested their raises. They avoided lifestyle inflation. They recovered from mistakes. They kept moving. The most important financial measurement at 40 is not your current position. It is your direction. Someone with $50,000 saved and a strong savings rate can be in a better position than someone with $200,000 saved and poor habits. Progress matters. Momentum matters. The person who starts seriously at 40 can still outperform someone who started casually at 25. That is not motivation. That is mathematics. 10 years from now, you will look back at this moment. You will either see it as the moment you finally changed your financial future, or you will still be asking the same questions at another dinner party. The benchmark is not the goal. The next decision is the goal.